Hello everybody, it's Kenneth from the archives here with another video where I'm going to dip into Dundee's local history and delve into our collections. Today I thought it would be nice to talk about some of the items we have relating to how Dundee celebrated the coronations of 1953 and 1937. Any mention of a coronation in Dundee would be incomplete without discussion of Bernard Street. Bernard Street, which ran between Hawk Hill and the back of Springfield, was a relatively small street, but it was known for its colourful celebrations at times of national events, particularly the coronations. Perhaps we could call it Dundee's Coronation Street. As you can see on the left, we've got some bunting and various banners and flags out in 1937. Some people out having a look at the camera. And on the right, in June 1953, the really elaborate banners and crowds out to celebrate the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Bernard Street no longer exists. It was demolished as Hawk Hill was redeveloped and is now roughly where the Life Science Complex on the university campus is. Here we see one of many Dundee shops that was elaborately decorated for coronations. Again, this is from 1953 and it shows G.L. Wilson's department store, popularly known as The Corner, on the corner of Murraygate and Commercial Street. We can see the lion rampart, the traditional symbol of the monarch of Scotland, with the ER for Elizabeth above it. You can also see various flags, not just flags of the home nations, but also of various Commonwealth countries, a reminder that the Queen was the monarch of several countries in the Commonwealth. Here we go back to 1937 and we can again see that G.L. Wilson's had decorations with Long May They Reign and various flags to celebrate the coronation of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. We can also see on the other side of the Murraygate above Hepworth's and Smith Brothers various Union Jacks, and there's bunting in the street. This was common in Dundee at these coronations. Another elaborate decorated building we can see here is Meadow House. Meadow House on the corner of Meadowside and Reform Street had on the bottom, officially number 3 Meadowside, the Clydesdale and Northern Bank of Scotland, and above it was the headquarters of various businesses, including the Alliance Trust, but also the Titagur Samnagur jute mills, Indian jute firms which were run from Dundee, and this actually comes from the Samnagur collection. And you can see it's a very elaborate decoration. We've got colours, we've got flags, we've got bunting, we've got God Save the Queen, we've got a crown, we've got the Royal Coat of Arms. It really is spectacular. And it's worth noting it was claimed in 1953 that Dundee had the most elaborate decorations in its city centre of any place in the UK outside of London. Here we've got an item from the Kinnear local book collection, and this is Dundee's own Royal Coronation book. Now this one comes from 1937. I believe there was one produced in 1953, though we don't have that in our collections. It's an interesting book. It includes things like you see on the right, a portrait of the new King and Queen, and articles about the royal family, but also a lot of newspaper type advertisements. So local businesses use this as a chance to say we support the coronation, but also here's our services. And you can see that on this page where we've got Princess Margaret and Princess Elizabeth, the future Queen Elizabeth II, on one side and adverts on the other. The 1937 coronation, of course, was of great interest in Dundee because the new Queen, Queen Elizabeth, had close connections, being a Bowes line of Glams, having come to the city many times as a youngster, and really keeping up her collections when she was Duchess of York. And of course, throughout her life, she would have strong links with Dundee, and as Queen Mother would eventually become the first Chancellor of the University of Dundee. Well, that's just a few items giving you a brief taste of how Dundee celebrated the coronation in days gone by, which I hope you found interesting. Stay safe, take care, and we'll talk again soon.